There's some background, but I don't think that's us.
I don't see anything besides the shit in the beginning.
Yeah, just that little stuff right there. We're good.
Everything else is good on our end?
Yep. So do you want to open or you want me to
I'll open since
you
you've opened the last few times. Yeah, I know, right?
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, good day, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Project Airwaves. This is Lynn.
And this is D.
How is everybody doing today, D?
How are you doing, bros?
How am I doing? I'm all right, man. I'm here. I'm surviving, trying to stay alive, staying busy, staying productive, proactive, taking it day by day with what we can and can't do. What about yourself?
Right. Same here, dude. Just working, trying to, keep my mind off of, the negative stuff, trying to, obviously we have COVID and we have a lot of the protests and stuff going on.
Still going on.
So trying to stay positive in the midst of.
Right.
That's been kind of what's going on. And then we've been working on just kind of like new hobbies.
Mm-hmm. You pick anything up?
Not really.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm still doing the same day to day. Yeah. Still trying to figure new things out with the time frame.
That's it.
Yeah, what I can and can't do.
Because we're still, even though everything's going on, we are still technically on borrowed time with work. After we're done working, we're tired usually. We both have families, so we just don't have a lot of free time. But my girl was talking about us possibly driving out to Cali next weekend.
Okay. You're actually trying to take a trip?
Yeah, or like the 1st of July.
It's good now that shit's opening up. You can actually
just
go
to get away.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Because Vegas is starting to get claustrophobic.
Yeah, it is.
We got the Raiders Stadium. They're constantly building. The Strip is always under construction. So it's just like, let's get away.
It's smart because, with me working at my job, now that things are starting to open back up, it went from it being like a straight up ghost town.
Right.
Where it was just officers there and engineering and that's it.
And moths.
And moths. Thank God that's fucking over. For months of that garbage and all of the dirty and the dryness of being in a dark ass empty casino. Right. Now it's like they're bringing in contractors.
Yes.
They're working on the mall because the mall connects to where the stadium's going to connect. They're going to make that little sky bridge and everything. So they've got a Raiders stadium or a Raiders convenience store, and they're starting to set things up. Like they had engineering coming earlier this morning, setting up like sneeze guards on the tables.
Yeah.
So they are projecting to have everything open for at least my property on July 1st.
Nice.
Between July 1st and July 15th, which is cool. It's going to be nice. I did enjoy the laid back of not having to do anything.
Of course.
But I'm getting tired of
not doing
anything. 8 hours of just like, oh God, I'm going to work, minding my P's and Q's, trying to stay awake, being on my phone. Now it's like, okay, now that there's human interaction and contact, like things will actually start to pick up. Now in my mind, not to say that my job is my life, but now my life can actually start to move forward.
A little bit. Yeah. We just, thankfully, we just opened our church back up. I am of the Christian faith and we are non-denominational, but we were closed obviously as soon as the coronavirus hit, so we opened back up. That's where my past 2 weekends have been, shampooing the carpet and sanitizing, disinfecting. So I found it to be quite actually reassuring. It's like, we're finally getting back to somewhat normal.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit of acknowledgement to know that, hey, I'm starting to get some of my toys back. I'm starting to get to be able to actually go back into a routine because I was so far out of it. It's
you said the gym opened up, yeah? So
the gym is open, which is it's so fucking good to be back. Like now that I've taken the time to let my body recover and get into it, now that I can actually train more frequently. They are doing the whole color code system of yellow days and blue days, depending on what machines you're at. But all honesty, they've gotten to the point where it's like people do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
they don't care.
It's the gym.
They don't care where you are and what you're doing. They just want it to be like, if it's a blue day, work on blue machines if there's someone next to you working on a yellow machine. But if you've got 5 machines run across and it's blue, yellow, they don't care. Work on what you want to do. It's just their protocol to have to give.
They have to try.
Yeah, they have to try. They have to try to show that they're working with the health department and that they're actually trying to make things actually work in benefit so they can actually function and keep going.
Sounds nice.
It sounds nice. It sounds nice on paper. I'm curious to know how it's going to be at the casinos. I know I was talking to my boss a couple nights ago, and he said the concept of with the casinos opening, at least our property, what they're going to start doing now is posting us individually at the front entrance of each door. And you've ever seen if you go into a club or something like that, they've got the little hand clickers. So click when people are coming in.
Yeah.
They're going to have us doing that, which I don't understand the concept of it. Maybe I'll learn more about it when I go back to work. Keeping track because the capacity of what the casino, or at least our casino, can run at is up to 3,000 people.
Yeah, they're going to only have 3,000 people.
We have 2 towers, and one hotel tower will be shut down probably permanently, and then the other one will take in guests. But let's say if you have 500 guests right there that are staying in the room.
Right.
500 guests that are staying in the room, so that's another 2,500 people that they have to hold accountable for. Let's say the guest fucking leaves with a bunch of friends they clock out those 5, and then 5 more people come in that aren't guests.
Right.
Now, those guests have to come back, but we're at maximum capacity.
Right. So
are
we're
we
just not letting them in?
Are we not letting them in even though they have a room? Or are we clocking out the people that came in? Do people have to come and go?
Yeah.
Are we doing Red Rover
It's
and
a
stopping them?
clusterfuck, yeah.
It's such a shitty guideline of what they feel like may or may not work. And I get the fact is that, yeah, they're trying, but they're being so strict about what they want to do.
Yes.
It's frustrating.
Well, it's almost feels like the reopening feels like how they should have handled the closing.
Yeah.
Like, they're super strict. They're like, you don't come in without a mask. You don't come in without this and that. Like, my kid goes to daycare. I can't go into the daycare without wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But then half the people that work at the fucking daycare don't wear masks.
Don't wear
And I
masks,
was like,
yeah.
What?
They're doing it more off of they're trying to get the employees to advertise that you should be wearing masks.
Right.
But then as a guest, it's like, even at the gym, if one of the people coming around cleaning, they'll be wearing a mask, and like, hey, you shouldn't be working on this machine because it's yellow day. I'm like, well, the person next to me is working on that machine. They're not wearing a mask. They're not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, I want to try and abide by the rules, but it's like, these jobs want their employees to follow their protocols and benefits,
Yes.
but then the guests do whatever the fuck you
Well,
want.
because you can't force me, the customer, who's
No.
paying you to do everything.
Fuck no.
You know
Absolutely
what I mean?
not.
And you're going to lose money, especially
Yeah.
with the gym.
Yeah.
If you only have 10 machines and you have yellow, blue, and only 3 machines are blue and it's a blue day, that's a whole bunch of money you're not making with those other machines that aren't in use. So to me, same thing like people had to deal with, I heard Red Lobster, what was it, a few weeks ago when they were serving people, they ran out of food. I went by, what was it, Del Taco or one of these fast food joints, and they were talking about meat shortages and shortages on like certain produce and things like that.
I do believe that. I saw, just
Yeah.
for a side note, that a lot of these companies or these manufacturers that are pushing out like their meats and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because everybody was testing positive, the meat wasn't getting tested and looked at properly.
Right.
And I know Walmart just had to pull all of their ground beef because they have an E. coli scare.
Right. And come on, people, this doesn't sound right.
No.
And I'm sorry, but it sounds like a setup. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Okay, if you know people are handling the meat that other people are going to eat,
Yes.
and that it might be infected,
Yeah.
don't you think you would kind of slow down meat production?
Yeah.
Test your supplies. At least test a few of them in that batch.
But they don't want to. They just
But
want
you
to
don't want
push it
to.
out. They want to push
Right.
it all out because they don't want to take the chance of actually losing
Right,
money
so
or
then
business.
you wait till, so then, well, not you, them, but then we have to suffer because now meat is getting pulled off of the shelves that we go to buy food.
Exactly.
So none of the higher ups, the people that work for these meat factories, they're not suffering.
No, they're not
You know
taking a
what I
hit,
mean?
or nothing's happening to them.
We have to go without produce.
Right.
We have to lose the eggs and the meat and stuff. So it's
Yeah, right. It's a flex situation. You kind of just have to. For now, we're rolling with the punches, just kind of
Yes.
trying to take in what we can and can't do.
Yeah,
So
stay upbeat.
for today's episode, we're gonna kind of spice it a little bit. You guys are gonna get a part 1, part 2 kind of going on, so we can kind of give you the viewers more of an impact within a small amount of time, and then roll off to the next episode. If you decide you're a viewer that wants to listen to an episode
Yes.
that's an hour long, you'll have 2 parts.
Woo.
If you're someone that wants to listen to something quick on the go, listen to part 1.
there you go.
So what we're gonna try and hit today is a couple current events and topics. One of the things that stuck out to me, which I'm kind of curious to see. So you know how people aren't, obviously we're not getting more stimulus checks.
Yes.
We're not getting any more money. We're not getting.
At least they said if they did, it would be like December.
Yeah.
Which,
if they're willing to, I was curious to see is how. We're going into a crisis now where it's like we're not going to be able to have money. Like, I'm looking into getting a new place very, very soon. And I do make relatively good money, more than I've made in my life with my job.
Right.
And it's
not enough.
Still
It's
almost
never
impossible
enough,
to try and
bros.
find a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment on your own.
Yeah.
It's like you have to have roommates.
Here in Vegas, it's like they just, I don't know, it almost in, let me back up. Vegas used to be known for how cheap it was.
Cheap
to live
way,
here.
yeah, opposed to living in like
You know what I
California
mean?
or something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Californians would flock out here. Man, it's so cheap. This is that. We're paying $1,200 for a 1-bedroom studio. This and that. Okay, cool. When I first moved out at 18, I'm 32 now. I had a dual master for like $850 a month. Upstairs, dual master, 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a 1-bedroom upstairs, paying $930.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was, I mean, yes, it's been obviously probably about 10 to 15 years, but at the same time, to me, it should become more affordable
Right, I
to
agree.
live over time
Yeah.
than less affordable.
Yeah, exactly. There should have already been a system implemented where people that have been living in town long enough, you kind of get a slap on the wrist. Like,
Yeah.
hey, it's like, my lease is up for my apartment, and my apartment complex, which I was fucking surprised. They're like, rather than just skyrocketing up my rent, they're like, oh, we're happy you've been here long enough. We want you to reassign. We're only upping your rent $10.
Yeah.
$10, which
Yeah.
is like fucking mind blowing. Sucks to say,
Right.
I'm not going to be staying there, but it's to the extent if you're a resident paying bills and you're been living in Vegas for a long time paying bills and you have a record, I feel like that should go into consideration for if you go to apartment complex. Yeah, exactly. An apartment complex are going, oh, hey, I noticed that you've been paying rent for this long time. You've never missed a bill. You've never been evicted. Here's this and this. We're gonna let you move in for $700, opposed to somebody that's brand fucking new or somebody that's
just came from Cali or something,
or they have
New
a
York.
shitty ass credit, or they've got multiple evictions. Oh, you want to come live with us? Sucks. You're gonna have to pay $1,500 for one bedroom.
And I mean, this is legit though, and that's what I mean. Like, it's just becoming a little more difficult, but it's actually been scientifically proven that back, I would say probably in like the 60s and 70s, a single man like you and me could move out on his own with a single job, and afford. You might not be able to have a family.
Right.
You won't have like nice stuff, but you could afford your own spot.
You could actually afford your own spot, and
nowadays it's like you feel like you got to work 2-3 jobs to make ends meet, to pay rent, and then maybe you'll have some good things. So it's adjusting to the new way of living. It's hoping for the best and dealing with what you've got.
Right.
So we're trying to keep our heads above water. Really quick on a side note, I know. Hi, I'm the editor, D. I know we're a little behind on the episodes. We're catching up. As you guys know, just like everybody else, with the COVID-19 and the riots and everything going on, it's just, unfortunately, it's been taking up a lot more time than we would have liked. But we're catching up slowly, little by little. That's why we're doing this kind of two-parter. We're going to dish them out one after the other. So like Lynn said, if you want the whole meal, you can eat it all at once. Or if you want an appetizer and
portion
then
control,
portion control,
yes,
you can do it later. So we appreciate your patience. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Really quick, current events.
Yes.
Okay, so I still find this weird and it's hard to say. So the cop that had a breakdown at McDonald's.
Yeah. So it's a double up between both.
Yeah, because you had one too.
Yeah. So mine another current event prior to go with the whole income thing. Side note from what I saw is that on July 1st they're trying to up minimum wage 75 cents.
Yes. Focus. Sorry. Yeah.
So yes, the 75 cent raise increase. I mean, do your research. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know a lot of these places. I don't know exactly how minimum wage weighs and what it may or may not be in the state of Nevada, but I know a lot of places. Obviously, we tend to make more than what minimum wage is, like because of promotions and raises and stuff.
Right.
So the what is it called? The not incentive. Pay differential.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna get a form of a pay differential depending as long as you're making below a certain amount of net worth per year.
Interesting.
So it does sound good, and it's supposed to be like a 75 cent increase every year until 2024, to where it should be a $4 increase for everybody. That's how Nevada's version of economy increase is going to be, to better give us an opportunity to survive. So in 4 years, we may be able to pay for our own shit.
That sounds nice, but when you think about it this way, they gave us that stimulus check. I don't care what everybody calls it. I'm calling it a stimulus check.
Right.
And they're already starting to take it back.
Yeah.
Like my girl works for the state, and she said they just got put on furloughs. They're not getting any raises potentially for the next 5 years. There may be layoffs and shit.
Yep.
And it's like, all of that sounds nice. Like, the little guy who's working for minimum wage, he's going to make that bank. Who's paying for it?
Yeah.
Because we just got a stimulus check, and people on unemployment are getting an extra, $600 or whatever per check until July.
Until July, and then
who's paying for it?
No.
Because the government's
going to want to take the money back.
Fit claiming, we're going to take all this money from the Treasury or wherever.
Exactly.
But we're coming out of pocket to pay them back. So, to me, it's like I want that to happen, but at the same time, who's going to have to take the hit so that somebody else can get the increase?
I agree. It's up in the air. I'm trying really, really hard because me and D both relatively agree and think on the same concept. We're both preemptive planners.
Yes.
We plan very, very far ahead to make sure that shit gets done, because we do live very, very busy and productive lives. Our day to days isn't just, I'm not just going to work and we're not just editing or doing the podcast. We do have families, we do have lives, we do consecutively keep things moving. So it's like I'm trying to take this with a grain of salt, thinking hopefully at the end of the year we don't get fucked and then have to pay thousands of dollars back in some bullshit tax return or some extra. But that's neither here or there.
Neither.
For our next thing, like we were talking about, is going to be the officer that had their meltdown. I'll let you take over.
So,
and then I'll give you my topic after that.
Yeah. Well, mine's pinging off of Lynn's that you haven't heard yet. So it's a cop. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on social media. She made a quick little video about her not being able to get her food in a timely manner at McDonald's, but it kind of segued off into something deeper. A lot of people ended up making fun of her about it, and I know why. It's because of the current cop hatred going on with this whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And it's like, guys, I get it, but at the same time, have a heart.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
everybody has a bad day.
They're all human. Like
Not all cops are racist.
No.
Not all cops are bad people, and not all of them are out to kill you. Some of them do abide by the protect and serve code.
Right.
And she just seemed like she genuinely was having a breakdown where the long and short of it, she put in her order online. She went to go through the drive-thru to get her order, and she feels that they recognized she was a cop as they were getting her order, and may have taken an excessive amount of time preparing her order, in which to potentially, do something to her food or poison her or some type of way. So after waiting for so long, they only brought her out her coffee, and at that point she was so shaken and anxious and nervous about getting her food that she just decided not to eat. And this was after already putting in a full shift of duty. She decided to only leave with a coffee. And so a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, she's complaining because she only got a coffee from Mickey D's, this, and that, and black people are getting killed in the streets. Okay, guys, let's just be open and honest with each other. What's fucking new? As black people, we've been getting killed in the streets for a millennia. Over the past few decades. Let's just stick to the past few decades. Let's just go 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s now. This isn't anything new. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the same thing. We want white people to acknowledge us as humans just as much as they want to be acknowledged as humans as well. Nobody is more superior than anybody else. We're all on the same equal footing. That's how it should be. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. But it starts with one small action. Everything starts with that one small action. And in this particular situation, I feel like that small action is having sympathy. Mm-hmm. Yes, she's white. Yes, she's a cop. Yes, this is kind of like a first world type issue.
Right.
We've all had bad service at Mickey D's.
Yeah.
But this wasn't just her having bad service or not getting her food on time. This woman was genuinely in fear for her life that someone was going to try to harm her.
Right.
Because of because of the action of another cop that had nothing to do with her.
No, and it's leading off to, how my topic was. The same thing is that another current event that came up was the 3 officers that got possibly poisoned from Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
It was in New York. They had these officers that ordered food from Shake Shack, and when they were drinking their drinks and eating their food, they noticed it had a really, really bitter and sour aftertaste. Mm-hmm. Only took a few bites into it, but it must have been potent enough in order to actually send them all to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And it's to the concept of, was it malicious? Was it malevolent? Was it something preactively planned? Mm-hmm. Was they being targeted because they were officers?
Right.
They got into it with the clerks and everything like that before they actually got sick. Got sent to the hospital to try and find out what exactly was going on. Mm-hmm. And their police chief kind of came in to kind of do the research to figure out, like, hey, was this an officer involved thing due to the whole recent incidents with George Floyd and everything. Of course. It's coming to the concept is like attacking people that had nothing to do with the incident. Yeah. Picking and choosing when you decide you want to take a vengeance on something like that, you're harming people that had nothing to do with anything. And these officers now, including like the female officer that Dee was speaking about, they're in fear to even go fucking eat food,
right?
Or to consume, or to be average people. Like, one of the tweets that were coming up was when a NYC police officer cannot even take a meal without coming under attack. It's clear that the environment in which we work has deteriorated to a critical level. We cannot afford to let our guard down for even a moment.
That's terrible.
So if it's coming to the point now where officers feel like that they have to consistently be on alert, even when it comes to consuming food, there's no form of law enforcement.
They're afraid of us now.
They're afraid of us now.
And yeah, granted, that sounds nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't want to cop to.
It's a give and take. It's like now you have someone that they're going to be very, very particular about how they do want to approach things. So yeah, these fuck ups are going to come, and they are going to come at the cost of really, really bad situations. But now you're getting 2 sides that are consistently going to be in fear of wanting to fight. One of the topics that we will hit after this, which will be the what happened in Minneapolis, what their new step was. Did you want to touch on anything?
Well, no. Really quick, one more fuel to add to the fire of the race wars is apparently now Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben have come under fire for their racist iconography of these people in their products. And it's like, hey guys, I get it. We want to change. We don't want them using black people to make their white money, yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing. Leave it, because we need all the white people who don't know how bad it was, we need them to see how bad it was. The fact that they are using us. Okay, first of all, the foundation of America was not only built on the backs of Native Americans, it was built on the backs of blacks. And the sooner this country realizes, accepts it, and deals with it, and I don't mean by just giving us free shit or feeling bad for people or I don't know, some weird white thing or some weird thing black people were having white people do. They were getting on their knees and apologizing to them or some dumb shit.
It's people taking a knee in a different concept.
I know I get worked up and I know I can get really passionate, and that's because I hate stupidity. How the fuck does that fix anything? How does a white person getting on their knees, apologizing to me, somebody they've never seen, never done any harm towards, a white person that has probably never even known how to even own a fucking slave, what does that do for me? What does that do for us? How does that help us progress? It doesn't. It's a show of force. And yeah, whoop-de-doo, I'm glad you pulled your dick out and put it on the table. But guess what? That's not what makes the world go round.
No.
We need white people. White people need us. We need Asians. We need Hispanics. We need the Native Americans. We need the Middle Easterners. We need the the Pacific Islanders. We all need each other, guys. Okay? I get Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter. Everybody matters. Mm-hmm. So what we want is more focus, but justice. That's all. We shouldn't be the people we are paying. Yes, as citizens, we pay the cops because obviously taxpayer dollars. The people we are paying to protect us, we don't need them in fear of us because we need them to have bigger balls than us when shit hits the fan. They're the ones that have to go into the line of fire. So to me, this is setting us back because we went from police being too forceful. Well, no, some police being too forceful mm-hmm. to now them completely backing off.
Right, which is what my topic will be. It's coming to the point now where what they're changing, like Dee stated, don't
throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Picking apart history, they're getting it to where they're starting to they nitpick that Gone with the Wind.
It's they're erasing.
Yeah, they're erasing history to try and make up for a bunch of shit that happened. And now what they're doing more than anything, what happened with Minneapolis is that they abolished the police department there because that's
where
defunded
they
defunded it, they took it down, and now they have it as a community-led public safety system. Yeah. FYI,
that's neighborhood watch.
It's neighborhood watch. You literally just tried to justify and glorify fucking neighborhood watch. Yes. It's such a garbage system because you have people that are no funded. Mm-hmm. People are going to come around with their signs and petitions, and
yes.
You're getting a 911 call saying, "Hey, someone's breaking into my house." Are you going to have?
You're going to have Billy Bob.
What was his name? It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
You're gonna have Mr. Rogers walking up with his clipboard and his certificates telling you, "Hey, we're all friends here. Stop breaking in and attacking people inside of his house."
To be my neighbor.
Exactly. Like we're all neighbors here. This isn't Smallville.
Yes.
This isn't going to be like, okay, now that there's no police department, everybody's going to calm the fuck down. You're going to still have scumbags and shitty people that are going to take advantage of this and go rob and pillage and loot and
just
rape
like
and
the
everything.
People who took advantage of the COVID-19, coughing on produce,
yeah,
licking
exactly.
shit.
Like just being able to riot and do things. And now that there's no form of law enforcement in that one spot just to control or at least dictate what's happening.
Yes.
It fucks everything. I understand the concept of possibly defunding some departments because they do get millions of dollars to have excess use of shit that they don't really need.
Right.
You're not coming into an incident and having to need a fucking tank to stop a home invasion,
a peaceful protest.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's unrealistic how much money is getting funded, but to completely abolish it, you're turning it into the fucking purge. So now you're saying all crime is legal.
They're going to turn into Gotham.
Yeah, it's going to be Gotham.
They're going to need
Gotham
Batman because the police aren't strong.
You're going to have a bunch of vigilantes running around with fucking masks and shit trying to stop the situation.
The Joker rose up in Minneapolis.
Exactly. Like it's gonna. What was that movie, Kick-Ass?
Yes.
Yeah, where it's like you're gonna have these like wannabe fucking vigilantes trying to come in and save because the police force is gonna be trash.
They're just
not gonna
there.
Exist.
And sorry to cut you off, Lynn, but it just feels like we're going from one extreme to the other. Mm-hmm. We were harping on police. They're using too much force. There's police brutality, so the police kind of backed off a little bit. We had a few incidences here and there. Yes. Centering around the African American community, unfortunately, and we got on them some more. Police backed off a little bit more. Yes, we still have racist incidents, but they seem to be in more focused one-offs. Now we've completely said, you guys go fuck yourselves because all of you are bad. we're generalizing all the police as bad, racist people, and they're not, because some of them do actually want to serve and protect, and it's almost like we're punishing people for doing the right thing.
For being actual good standing.
And I don't know how that works.
I don't know if it's just, maybe it's because we are getting older. It's not like we're fucking old.
We have more life experience.
Yeah, we have enough experience to where it's like when I was younger, none of this came to my knowledge.
No.
I wasn't aware of any of this.
I was
so
never.
It might have been happening at our age.
Right.
And I didn't know anything. But now that I'm actually more aware of what's going on in politics and the current world events, it's like, yeah, we're in probably one of the worst times we've been in a very long time.
Yes.
2020 is definitely... 2020 is... I've been seeing a lot of memes. It's the new Jumanji.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations, you survived May of 2020. The next level of Jumanji, Murder Hornets. Like, it's every fucking month comes in with something fucking new. And it's making it to where we have to make a form of adapting. You kind of have to adapt, let the situation take control, but then don't go fucking KO Ken and start just abolishing and running everything 100% because you're not getting what you want.
And burning down shit. They're ripping down statues, and it's like, moving on. There's a lot more to talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about.
But we'll go ahead and move on.
Appreciate you guys coming on for this episode. We are going to switch it over to part 2. So, again, as always, I am Lynn.
I am D.
And we will catch you guys on the next episode. Have a good night, everybody. Stay tuned.
You did good.
You did great.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Project Airwaves. I am D.
And this is Lynn. Welcome back again for part 2.
Part dos, numero dos. On this particular episode, we're going to keep it upbeat, head in the clouds, feet nowhere near the ground, folks, because it is way too fucked up down there.
Flying on that Nimbus cloud, trying to keep everything positive and open and ready to go. We're going to talk a little about what's going on in our lives, things that are, things are a little rough, but things are still going good, trying to see some positivity. What I was talking to D about is I'm pretty excited more than anything. I've trying to get a new car. Obviously with everything that's been happening, I don't financially expect cars to work in my favor as far as like I'm not going to buy a fucking Ferrari or Lamborghini,
a brand new car.
But I know if I do get a car that I do want to get, a lot of these dealerships, they're working in your benefit because they need the business.
Right.
But I don't want to go to a business. What I was talking to D about, which I've been seeing, is I'm actually thinking about trying to jump into Carvana.
Right.
I saw, with my car, I still owe like $15,000 on a 2013 Dodge Charger RT, so a muscle car. The equity I have on that car is relatively high. Like I do have a lot, and a lot of people, my value for my car, they want to take it for like $8,000.
Right.
And I'm like, okay,
Which
that
is
still
amazing.
fucks me over with like $6,000 or $7,000 in negative equity. So I could be buying a really shitty Honda Civic and be paying $700-800 a month because of the negative equity. But Carvana, what their deal was, which was really good, which would be great to be sponsored by them, is that Carvana is actually giving you the opportunity to where they will take my car for $12,000 to $13,000.
Oh, what?
$12,000 to $13,000. So I'm now at the point where it's like I would only have $2,000 to $3,000 worth of negative equity.
No, this is not a commercial.
No, it's not a commercial. Not an advertisement. We do not get sponsored by them. But I am seeing the positivity and the benefits of what it is to have that, to not actually have to sit with the dealership, because you're not getting in. A lot of these dealerships, what they do is they do make a commission base.
Yeah.
So they will try to upsell
sharks.
you, and they will try to get you on a deal. But what happens is if you don't know how negative equity works, APR and stuff like that, they will trap you.
Yep,
that's what fucked me.
Don't have to.
They fucked me on my last car with that. I had a 2014 Dodge Challenger, an SXT. It was a base model, but I loved that car.
Yes.
And I settled for getting a different car because, I had gone through knee surgery. So it's like I needed money. I was out of work for a little bit. I needed a car that wasn't a coupe. I needed a sedan.
Right.
Still a muscle car, but cheaper on my insurance. Didn't understand how negative equity worked, and they fucked me and stacked on $4,000 or $5,000 worth of my leftover payments.
Ratchet.
So going into this, I actually know what I'm doing. You do everything online. You send them your odometer. You send them your driver's license, and you send them your insurance, proof of ownership, and then the last thing is that you would go to your whatever bank holds the title loan to the car, get a 10-day release, so Carvana will pay off the car, and then you just pay the equity amount over to the next car if you want to buy or sell or whatever.
I mean, because if you think about it, nowadays you don't physically have to go to a dealership.
You don't.
They're just running all your information.
It sucks to say, but I know it's a new futuristic thing, is that humans become obsolete. You don't really need them for anything. If the company can do everything, why the fuck do I need to talk to somebody to try and convince me to buy a package deal?
It's upselling.
Yeah,
That's all it is. It's upselling.
It's upselling. If I know what I want,
doesn't need commission.
No, exactly. If I know what I want and I set my rates and my prices, they will come in with a fucking flatbed truck with my brand new car.
Amazing.
Drop that one off, take my car, and be like, okay, bye.
Right.
If you need anything,
and they have these weird storage units for the cars.
It
and
looks
shit.
like
boss.
There's two of them that I saw around town, and it literally looks like a giant vending machine.
Yes, for cars.
It looks like a vending vending machine. It's on the outskirts of towns. I'd have to look it up and see where it is. But Google where you can find them, and they actually look like vending machines. What they do is they either fly them out or drop them off on boat docks, put them in the vending machine, and then it literally poops them out, and then there you go. There's your car.
Well, because if you do any research, for those of you who know about Asian culture, Japan and China are super technologically advanced. Do you remember Tokyo Drift?
I do, where the garage would drop down and you would see the cars kind of cycle on a cylinder.
Decades, bro.
Yeah,
we're late.
Yeah, exactly. We're super behind.
Awesome.
We're super behind. It's cool that we're finally starting to catch up. It was on a few episodes that I spoke about how it was either Japan or China, what they're doing in order to help with, because they're overpopulated.
Oh, China.
The living process of how now they're making these houses.
Those micro houses.
Where you can it's like a Minecraft thing. You can start stacking them and live in houses that could be a 5-bedroom fucking house for you're paying $200, $300 a month.
Own it.
Because it's as luxurious as a fucking hotel suite. It's so cool. It's such a crazy concept. So I mean, it's beneficial to look into the future about what is to come and what I do and don't want.
Definitely.
Do you have anything that you're looking forward to?
I mean, we're planning to go to Cali. Hopefully the first of the month.
Right.
It'll be my first trip seeing the ocean.
There you go.
I'm late.
What part? Do you know?
I don't know.
I've got recommendations.
Well, I know you're the first person. Yeah. You got hookups.
I know a lot of spots and everything like that.
I'll be in contact with
Venice,
him.
Huntington.
I just want seafood and I want a good time.
Yeah.
That's all it. The beach and stuff.
Are you gonna do? Because the weather's getting warm. The beach is still gonna be fucking freezing. I did go to the pool today. Yeah, I went to the pool today with my daughter earlier, and it was nice because it was around 86 to 90, and it was nice and warm outside. But the minute you get in that water, it was like fucking frigid.
Oh god. Okay.
Times 10 because of the ocean. Because the water it's still consistently moving, but it's still fucking cold.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't think about that.
My thing is when you go out there, are you planning on doing a suicide trip? Or are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a same day.
Same day there and back.
Yeah, potentially. Well, because as you guys have heard me talk about, I kind of have a little bit of a busy weekend. So Sundays for me, I always have church. I'm the AV guy, so I cannot ever miss a Sunday, no matter what. It's been like that for almost actually a little over 10 years now. So for me, it's like, okay, we either go out Friday after work.
Right.
Unfortunately, she gets off at 5 p.m.
Right.
So that would be a bitch to drive out to Cali at 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go super duper early Saturday, get out there after 4 to 6 hours of driving.
It'll take you, depending on what part. I mean, you can to hit anywhere off of the coast. If you're trying to go anywhere that's going to be beach related, you're looking at maybe 4 hours. 4 hours there, 4 hours back. And if you're comfortable, I do, after I've been to Cali a couple times on some road trips, I've done suicide trips.
Right.
I've done 2. I've stayed in Cali, I've stayed in hotels, I've stayed in Airbnbs, which I highly recommend.
I want to.
The B&Bs are super fucking cheap.
Really?
Way cheaper than a fucking hotel.
Okay.
Way worth it. It's cool to kind of be in a spot where it's like, yeah, this isn't mine, but they do accommodate.
You can be comfortable.
Yeah, you can be comfortable. And it is a little weird because you are sharing like a big ass fucking house with multiple people, but the rooms are so segregated that it's rare that you'll run into anybody.
Oh wow.
And you're spending I stayed in Airbnb for 2 or 3 days and it cost me less than $100. We're looking at like $80 for those 3 days.
What?
Opposed to a hotel, it's $100
a night. Yes,
in Cali, in California. So it's like,
God.
and the B&Bs are like, what's cool is they'll give you a map saying, hey, these are the bars you want to go to. This is where the beach is at. These are the restaurants we recommend. They'll give you a play-by-play, so you're not going there bored.
That's
because
what I need.
You go to Cali, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the beach. What now?
Right.
I need to know. I don't know the layout. I'm not from here. So these places, you'll get really good B&Bs where they'll give you recommendations. And I had a fucking blast because I knew where everything was on the fucking map.
And that's it. I don't want to go to like a nightclub or, obviously.
You'll find really cool, really laid back spots. California, Venice, Oceanside was really nice. And Huntington.
I heard Santa Monica
is really cool, except for there's a fuck ton of homeless people there. Yeah. A lot of vagrants. But the culture is different. Everything's graffitied. Everything's tagged up. But it's
I've seen on TV and stuff.
It's such cool tagging because it does look like it's like a little bit of like a poorer area unless you're going to the really, really nice parts of town. It's just cool to kind of go through these areas and experience that kind of culture.
Right.
Opposed to Vegas, everything's a casino.
Yes.
And everything is houses and homes.
It's either really nice or really shitty.
Exactly. Opposed to there, it's like you're just going into and you're experiencing stuff. Like I had fun, which is, I know it's kind of corny to say, when I went to Oceanside, I had fun just over there because nobody can afford really cars and trying to stay in these little tiny ass hotels or houses.
Right.
your cars take up too much space.
Yeah.
So what happens is everybody either walks or you take scooters.
Yeah, you
and
mentioned you rented a scooter.
Fucking cool,
What
man.
the
Like,
shit?
they don't have them here in Vegas, but they have these scooters where it's like Lyft runs it, Uber runs it. There's different. Even Postmates had a couple of theirs. The scooters are anywhere. They lay out in the middle of the street. It's like me walking outside right now and where we're at and seeing a scooter lay on there.
Right.
You go up to the scooter. You look at the bar. The scooter has a battery bar, and it'll tell you how much charge the bar is. It'll just be laying there on the ground. You go and pick it up. You pick up your phone. Charge. You pay.
Like over electronically.
Electronically, and it charges your phone, and then the scooter is as long as you want it. It'll literally run. I think a minute. No, you can ride a scooter for 30 minutes, and it'll cost you $5.
What?
And 30 minutes on a scooter, on an electronic scooter that's running like 20, 30 miles an hour. We were getting to the other side of town.
What?
Other side of town. We were going back and forth, back and forth. I barely spent $5 by the end of the Sunday. It's fun. And it was so fun because it used to remind me of when we used to ride bikes everywhere and stuff like that. Like,
dude. I miss those days. If I'm honest,
it's fun.
I'm really honest,
it was fun.
No, I'm not that grandpa where I'm like, I walked to school 6 miles with no snooze in the snow. I'm not that guy, but I miss us just being like walking to each other's house or riding our bikes.
Be able to actually enjoy being outside doing stuff, because when you're in your car driving around, it's like, all right,
it's mundane.
I'm driving to a spot doing. I'm in autopilot. Shit. I can't even enjoy the fucking view. I'm listening to music and having to focus on the road. When you're riding around like that and walking around or going to open areas, it's like, all right, I actually get to intake, and my brain gets to actually take pictures of, oh, that's nice.
You're not like,
look at that.
Stoplight.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't make a right turn here.
Yeah.
Pedestrian crossing.
Exactly. So I think if you find a good spot, dude, fucking
I'm down.
live it up. Live it up. Have
down.
a blast. Find a good B&B and just fucking enjoy.
You know me, I'm a fat kid, so I'm going there pretty much to eat all the
fucking
seafood.
Food, man.
I can't wait.
Every time I'd go out there. Every time I would eat, I was like, dude, I don't know what it is. I know Vegas, we are known for our cuisines, but it's trash.
Yeah, it's
unless I'm going to a
it's-
casino and spending fucking $50-$60. There's these little mom and pop shops that are in Cali where it's like, dude, I had like one of the best breakfasts I've ever had in my life there.
Oh,
and
I
it was
don't doubt
like
it.
a no basic than a breakfast that I would have here in Vegas, but they had it there, and the way that they made it was just like yeah, they were kind of like hipsters,
right?
But when they made it, I was like, the fucking coffee was good. I was like, oh my god.
Look,
man.
guys, let's just be honest yet again. I'm not being racist, but when I see a Hispanic cat in Panda Express, and I see an Asian lady in Mickey D's, and I see a black chick in Del Taco, I'm not really feeling like I'm getting the authentic experience. I'm sorry.
You actually need to take it in for what it's worth. So if you're going to a certain spot, make sure that you're indulging in what is to be made.
I don't mind spending a little bit of money, and it's just little stuff I want to do. Obviously, I'm still working on getting back to the gym. Thankfully, I haven't lost too much power, but I feel it and I see it. As far
you're still
as
in shape. I noticed it too.
No
homo. Like I was saying, it's like I noticed that your physique is still holding there. So
I want to get back into the gym so bad, and it's just like, okay, I just have to be patient because it's time. I got to free up the money. Blah 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 blah. But it's the fact that I can start making plans now to get back into the gym.
What we spoke on about the episode prior to part 1 of this was it's now that things are slowly going into motion, it's like, all right, I can actually start my life back up.
Right.
Because before it was like, all right, I just have to survive.
Right.
I have
you
to exist.
really didn't have much to look forward to.
I didn't know what the fuck to do. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't make any plans. Couldn't go anywhere. So I kind of just had to like be present, go to work, be happy I had a fucking job, but try not to be miserable. Can't go anywhere. Can't do anything. And now that things are starting to slowly like open back up, there's still cases and stuff like that, but it's getting to now to the point where it's like, all right, what's my next step? Like what I need to plan ahead. That's just who I am. I can't live day by day.
No, I can't live in the moment. Not for too long.
No, not for too long. I'll get in my head and start going fucking crazy because like, dude, what is my life to become? Like I have to have some kind of fucking plan. So I plan out weeks in advance to kind of give myself a little bit of a breather.
Yes.
Something to look forward to.
Because you can plan, and it's one of those things. If you plan out far enough, you might even surprise yourself by, I saved a little too much money. Or maybe I got to leave a day earlier than I expected.
Right.
Maybe a day later. Well, since I already planned it out, all I have to do is make a few tweaks here and there.
That's it.
It's not going to fuck up the whole thing.
Little minor adjustments in order to kind of give yourself a little bit of satisfaction of that. All right, my plan's still working. Yeah, I had to adjust this a little bit, kind of flex a different direction, but I'm not doing this drastic. All right, today's Monday, and then Tuesday pops up, and something happened, and I wasn't prepared for Tuesday.
Right, but we got to leave Wednesday
morning,
morning,
like,
type shit.
I can't live in that chaos. I am coming to a point where it's like, my lease is up. I'm getting a spot and everything like that, and I'm getting more developed on trying to figure out, okay, once I get centralized and I have a good foundation of what I'm going to do, what's my next step?
Right.
Because I'm not just sticking, not to say that not to say that my job sucks. Well, everybody's going to say their job sucks. I am grateful. I'm grateful that I have a job, but being part of a casino and you know how the casinos, especially MGM runs, it sucks. They want you to feel grateful. They want you to feel grateful that you have a job, but they treat you like shit. They stopped feeding us. They stopped giving us water. They stopped. What? They're literally putting. Yeah, dude. Oh my.
They treat you like a redheaded stepchild,
man. Like in the beginning, it's like they're like, thank you for staying by security and holding this place down. They were making us like an EDR. They were packing, pretty much giving us packaged lunch and stuff like that. Water you have to supply to employees. A water fucking fountain, something. Water fountains got shut down. No more water bottles. No nothing. A lot of the posts they're putting us out. It's not like we're in a post where we can just be shielded. You're out in the fucking elements. Sitting outside, staring out in the darkness when it's 100 degrees or it's fucking freezing.
Right.
Like, it's not idealistic. It honestly makes me and a lot of people I know that I work with change their mentality of wanting to be there. But realistically, right now, where the fuck are you going to go find work?
It's hard to move, but that's how security has always felt. Like even when I worked security way back when I first got on with my last legitimate crew, they were like, "Hey man, we're just passing through. Like we're gonna come to work, do our job every motherfucking day. Hit the ground running, but." Is like as soon as Metro opens up, I'm out. Or as soon as the school district opens up, I'm out. Or as soon as private security opens up, I'm out. And little by little, it was like, I lost my entire crew of like, I felt like they were like my 5-star generals.
Right.
And they all just one by one left to go command their own armies. And I was just like, oh, well, okay, I got a bunch of new kids. This sucks. We used to work where we worked at Hawaiian Marketplace. There's a outdoor karaoke bar.
Did you know if it's Zingers, right?
It's Zingers. No, I think it's gone.
They changed it or something else? I've been wanting to
They
fucking
completely
go check that
remodeled that whole place. We drove by there a few weeks ago when the strip was closed.
Yeah.
And so
it's not Zingers anymore?
I don't think it's Zingers. They turned it into like some type of, bougie fashion show thing because it's across the street from City Center.
City Center, yep.
So, but when we first got there, I can talk about this now because I don't work there anymore.
Right.
The owner of the shop, him and his dad, they look white, but they're from South Africa.
Yeah.
Coolest dudes you'd ever met. Obviously, I'm not going to say your name, but thanks, bro. You and your dad know who you are. We got free drinks.
Yeah. I remember,
we would get lit
hit me
on
up
duty.
Like, hey, man, if you want to come down, there's...
We get comps. I would invite people. I'm like, yo, you guys want to get drunk tonight? Let's go to the karaoke bar.
And there was the guy, the fucking... That would be a story time thing, one thing. The magician, the great Smoothini. Oh my god, dude.
Smoothini, the black magician, he ended up on TV.
Did he?
Yes, for a hot minute. He made it, I think, to the MGM. He made it to one of these casinos.
I believe it because when you would see him, you would think he was a vagrant. Yes. He just looked like this bummy black dude that would walk up and do like a kind of like a dorky card trick. But the fucking card tricks were amazing. That one card trick, from what I remember the concept of him trying to show me what my card was and seeing David Blaine and stuff like that. Yes. I'm like, okay, no, I know this dude's gonna fool me and pull a card and put it behind my ear. Some shit. He's like, oh, is that your card? Points up at the fucking rafters. It'd be in the rafters, like fucking, I don't know, 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet up in a fucking window rafter.
I don't know. I did it.
I don't know. And I'm like, no human can climb. Yeah, no human can climb up there.
Yes,
it was just amazing. Those experiences and stuff like that were fun. Those are the things that I enjoyed.
I would say that all that fun stuff. Like we were cool with the gang bangers, the drug dealers, the pimps, the prostitutes. Our company we were working for hated it, but we knew we had to have a presence. Right. We couldn't just rely on Metro the whole time. So while we would love to just assert ourselves every 5 seconds, we're only security guards with a baton and some outdated pepper spray.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So we had to make friends. Yeah. But it was nice because people genuinely were happy that we were there. Mm-hmm. They're like, we feel protected when you guys are here, even though like you're just security. It's a good show of force. And so, that lasted for, I want to say about a good 3 years, but then, like I said, just passing through little by little, they trickled off. And eventually I had to go because personally, what keeps me at a job is the people I work with. It's
always going to be like that. Yeah. You're not there for the fucking management. You're not there for the company.
You know
it's like you make friends. My thing, same thing when it comes to relationships. The way you meet somebody, whether it be a partner or a friend, is through friends, through school, and through work.
Yes.
So obviously I ain't in school anymore, so I'm not making new friends. The friends that I'm making are through friends through work. So your job holds a huge value of the people that you come in contact with.
Yes.
My day to day comes from, all right, if I'm gonna make a new friend, it's because I work with with them.
Yeah.
So if you start to lose those people,
it's hard to go to work.
It's hard to go to work.
When you
It's
know
like,
those people aren't there.
They're not there. It's like, not to be fucking needy or clingy, but it's like, I miss you.
I miss you.
I know we don't talk anymore, but I miss
it's
you.
like going to school.
Exactly.
You're my one friend, and you took the day off.
You took the day off to go somewhere else.
Shit.
You do get those best friends, like, how me and D are, where we've been around each other's lives for a very long time, but it's a 5%. It's those minimal ones that, like, all right, you do have a connection with them, so they're gonna stay. But the ones that, I enjoyed seeing them on a day-to-day basis. You're not gonna see them again, and now it's like, great. And I have to go to a job and realize that I don't even fucking like this place. And the only reason why I liked it is because I would do dumb shit with this coworker. Now the coworker's not there. I fucking hate this job. I hate you. I'm spending 8 hours by myself staring at an empty-ass mall. Sorry, I'm having PTSD from the job that I have now. All the friends and family that I started off with are practically just...
Oh, shit. I dare you. Call me Paul Blart. Call me Paul Blart, bro.
It's so mundane. So it's getting to the point, when you do get older, you start to find out that you need something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
Going off of just going to work and trying to enjoy the company with friends and family, it's cool for a minute, but if you don't have any personal goals, something I put on a little side note, which I recall seeing a long time ago, is you spend half to 60% of your life working for somebody else, doing things for somebody else, which i.e. is your job, relationships, what have you. You need to find time when you're done, no matter how exhausted and how tired you are, to do something for you. That 10, 15, 20, 35%, whether it be go to the gym, work on a podcast, go hiking, go to Cali, go do a trip, something for you, because you don't want to spend your entire life. There's a song by Logic. I'd have to find it. It's on his album, the Young Sinatra 5. It's like the most recent one he posted out before, and I think the song is called Legacy. The story flows so fucking cool. Really? It's literally him talking about his entire life until his death. And it's about him rapping about how he was working 2 or 3 jobs. He met the girl of his dreams, but in order to provide for them, he just kept hustling on his job. And then she got pregnant, so he had his son, and then the next thing you know, his daughter was born. And he was consistently hustling to make sure they're provided for, and now the son is graduating with a degree, and now the daughter's getting married. But he was never there. He's not there. He goes, I wasn't there, but I paid for the honeymoon. I wasn't there, but I paid for his graduation. I wasn't there, but I paid for the house. And then at the end of it, he's in his deathbed. And the daughter and the son and the wife is talking to him saying, hey, Dad, I love you. Hey, I don't care if we live out of a shoebox. You should have spent more time with me. And then everything goes through to the end of it. And then out of nowhere, it's he's actually just daydreaming on the bus.
Oh, shit.
And he's on tour, and he's like, damn, I was actually just having he was having a flashback of a future perspective of, hey, this is how his life could be. So I'm going to stop fucking doing this. I'm going to take time for me. Let me take a step back and reset this.
Yes, that's what even, and we hear this with famous people constantly. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but the late Robin Williams, it looked like that man had everything going for him. But if you pay attention to his life, he was consistently working, always depressed, always dealing with drugs, always dealing with some type of issue that he never had time to address. Chester Bennington, always successful, amazing band, Linkin Park, committed suicide because he just didn't have the time.
Side note, it was called Legacy. I highly recommend it. It's the Young Sinatra, what is that? Is that a 5? 1-4 or is it 4?
Oh yeah, that is 5.
5? Young Sinatra 5, it's called Legacy. I highly recommend it. I think it's such a cool concept of, you let your life pass you by, and then people, like you said, that grind and work so hard, you tend to stop focusing on things for yourself. I'm not saying don't be irresponsible and not do anything as far as work related, but realize the concept of having a life and having a life.
Yes, equivalent exchange.
Law of equivalent exchange.
Okay, I hate Lynn for getting me stuck on that, and yes, that is from Full Metal Alchemist. It is from Full Metal Alchemist. But shit, guys, it speaks volumes the older you get. Everything is a balance. No matter what you do in life, too much of a good thing can kill you, and too much of a bad thing, well, it's just bad. When you find that balance, though, you're more likely to reap more benefits than you are to suffer the consequences, because you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. And so, that's something I want to leave off on. Always keep that in mind. Law of equivalent exchange. You get in or you get out what you put in. If you want more, then you got to put in more. If you want less, then put in less. If you don't want anything at all, then don't do it. But if you're going to at least put in some work, you better work your ass off and get exactly what you put in, or get exactly out what you put in.
Preach.
That's all I'm saying.
Preach.
Yeah. Preach.
All right, guys. As always, we appreciate the effort and the listening. We are trying to push this out more and more. Be be grateful on our end, or at least help us out by preaching this to your friends, kind of sending out to family members if they want something light and fun to listen
Social
to.
media
Social
helps.
media does
Twitter,
help.
Facebook.
Putting out any information as far as, current events and just the day-to-day lives. We try to keep things as real as possible without giving you any bullshit.
Yep, and I don't know how many people read the descriptions. It's okay. I'm not one for reading descriptions on stuff I watch or listen to either. But our email address is in the description of the podcast we've been putting in for a few episodes. You want to send us some feedback? You want to tell us we suck? You want to tell us we're amazing? You want to offer us $1 million, which I am not against? Go ahead and hit us up on our email address. It is Project Airwaves, but instead of the P, you have a 4, and instead of the A, you have a 4. So it's 4roject, 4IR waves at gmail.com. Hit us up anytime.
Anytime, anywhere. As always, guys, thank you for the listening and the support. We are going to be signing off. Again, this is Lynn.
This is D. Keep your head in the motherfucking clouds.
And keep your feet on the ground and pushing forward.
We are signing out. Take it easy, everybody. Love you.
Have a good night. Love you guys. Stay safe.
You did good.
You did great.